Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. The day is treating you kindly. Thank you, 7 Yes, Michelle. Well, I had a strike on my channel for one of the naked ladies on my the stars on my tarot card, so they took me off live stream for 3 months, which was kind of a drag, but looks like I'm back. Looks like they're letting me do it. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. I know that many of us have been getting a really bad um, gift today of nasty energetic attack and mental attack by, Nasty Jack Pimp and their Jezebel sex addict hoe bag trying to come in and get Divine Feminine separated from whoever it is she's connected to and then step in for a beautiful sexual adventure on an angel's energy. They're really digging it. They're really digging the idea of it. And, I don't know what's going to happen. What does it matter, right? So let's tap into the scenario. I mean, we got some stuff out there. We got the nasty devils wearing the energy of probably multiple angels' shattered hearts, coming in to sexually harvest a divine masculine whose divine feminine is under a mental attack right now. So he's going to get mad and he's going to go F himself into a devil pit. And let's just hope he hears this prior to doing that. I woke up this morning after all night listening to these nasty jacks strategize how they were going to obtain a woman and then harvest her soul value and her identity and such. There's an emperor who has a Queen of Pentacles sex addict wanting to use him like a drug. And, he's dealing with attitude right now out of the one that he's connected to. And honestly, personally, I don't have a lot of faith in the masculine, but maybe you and your connections feel more stable. I hope that they do for you. All right, everyone, this is Sage. Got a lot burning because I got a whole lot of nasty energy that I've been dealing with all day, There's a lot of men out there and their crazy Jezebel hoe bags that just love to make us feel upset, especially on days like this. They like to make us understand how little value we have in the world. Oh, I hope so, JR, because it's getting old. I'm just so sick of it. In the central energy, we've got the Ace of Swords. So there's clarity and truth. In the challenge position, we've got the Knight of Cups. Somebody may be wanting to do a romantic offer. In the subconscious, that's a kiss for you there, Paige. Pardon me. So we got the Eight of Swords here in the subconscious. Somebody's feeling like a victim. The truth is, somebody wants you to feel like a victim, but you got the Two of Pentacles here, so you're able to maintain your balance, even though it feels like shit, and nobody likes it when they're being spoon-fed somebody else's energetic and emotional and mental shit on Mother's Day. So, We got some crazy little devil bitches out there that are wanting to make love with your man, at least in the spirit, on this day, and they're out there working it real bad by giving your lady a attitude problem. We got the Judgment here over what's been happening with the Divine Feminine. The all-seeing eye can see very clearly. There's a new revelation. Oh, are you the Mickey Mouse? So you're the Mickey Mouse? Yeah. Okay, we'll just go ahead and get rid of you. Tower. There's Judgment and there's a Tower. There's a Tower coming to a Queen of Wands. You know, so yesterday I went to a gathering. And there was a woman there. She had been in her cups a little bit. And she had said, she had a 22-year-old son. She had been with her husband for 24 years. And she would do anything for her son, absolutely anything. And she was upset that she had to be there at this event to support her husband. And she was going on and on and on. And she says, well, he stayed because he loves me. He's loved me since the age of 11. And I'm like, wow, what a blessing, you know? But it was really cute to kind of be in the midst of all these people who had been married for over 20, many of them over 40 years. And it was just heartwarming to see that this scenario that has plagued so many of us hasn't plagued many of those that I consider friends, and I'm grateful. In the near future, we've got the Ace of Pentacles, prosperity and abundance. So could be coming in for you. We got some folks out there that they're trying to put in their energy. They really want to destroy people's connections and their Mother's Day. They want to destroy the Mother's Day for all mothers, especially those that are loved well, you know, looked up to. The lens is being looked through is the Queen of Cups. In the environment, Three of Swords. Some kind of a betrayal or a separation here. Hopes and fears. Strength. You have strength and courage, and it's just really disheartening and tiring. Y'all are tiring, man. All these black magicians out there doing stuff, they're so tiring. Hello, Monique. And the outgoing energy. The Star. Rebirth. All is well. Five of Swords, all is well. We got conflict and magician. So there's a conflict and magician here. Maybe there's a magician wanting to fight with you, but you've done your research, so you know what's going on. They're trying to take your 10 of Cups. We got justice here, the law of cause and effect, and they're afraid. Oh, what of the Hierophant when it comes to love. Oh, they're effing around with love. And we got a Page of Swords here, which could be trying to sacrifice a woman for love. There's some real nasty shit out there with these stupid magicians, these little warlocks. They're with their little pointy beards and their little mustaches and the freaking astral and their little trailer home parks. Yeah, they got this little trailer home park. They are real happy about that place where they've trapped their little virginal slaves. I'll try to keep it mellow because it's been a pretty obnoxious day Because I woke up listening to these nasty jacks strategizing on how to obtain, torture, and consume the vital force of a woman so that they can be just like her and command her authority. It's pretty sick, when you hear that stuff first thing in the morning on Mother's Day. It can throw a kink in your whole mental framework, and they do it on purpose. They run around considering themselves God's greatest gift to this realm, and really they're just a nuisance. Thank you, Monique. It was a challenging day all day. They and their Jezebel little sex addict freaking harvesters of whatever, fluids and such for the little magic that are on it. Oh, they're on it on this Mother's Day. They're going to come in and they're going to try to succubus as many masculines as they can. And honestly, I feel bad for them because I know, that thing rises all on its own. Fuck. They're at the mercy. Excuse me. Whew. And we got backstab in the reverse. So we got Ace of Swords here. There's clarity on truth. Nobody's going to be able to backstab you because all about these love bombing, mind game, deceiving little rat bastards that are running around out there. They're little bastardettes. Clayton, that's really nice of you to say. I really despise some of those nasty pieces of crap. You shouldn't be here, Coney. I don't do witchcraft, honey. But you just did by cursing me with a falsehood. The thing is we got all these nasty critters out there right now talking. They're spreading their malicious mental shit everywhere. You can really feel it, especially if you're a sensitive empath. So there's a Knight of Cups. It's got some shocking news here. Ace of Swords. They can't backstab you. You know the truth about this little love cup that he wants to offer you. This little, yeah. So they want to bind you. Maybe they're feeling like a victim because you're balanced. They can't knock you out of balance. And that's the truth. You have clarity regarding the deceptive manipulator. We got police stations, so they're going to get arrested. They're being restricted and they're fearful because you were able to maintain balance here. They've been doing all kinds of baneful magic. This morning, one of the things I woke up to was like those aluminum bowls or whatever, the big ones? It was flipped upside down on the table and somebody was like pounding it with their hands. A man pounding it. Open the door, open the door. And it reminded me of Iron Dome or something like that. Like the big, what do they call that? The mighty shield or whatever. Yeah. I don't discuss my, this isn't the place to talk about that. That's really crazy. So there's judgment here. There's judgment and a trap. Your revelations, whatever it is that you have shared here regarding the deception and the mind games, has judgment being called. People are getting arrested. You were able to maintain balance. In an earlier read, of course, I went off on that one too because Jezebel showed up all dripping her juices all over the emperor. Effing sick. I don't know. It's pretty nasty. We got somebody wanting to step in so bad and break your heart. We got a tower here. There's a tower for the divine intervention or some kind of a tower happening on a Queen of Wands. So there's a tower happening for somebody's independence. Yeah, they're living in the moment. There's a tower happening for this Queen of Wands opportunity for living in the moment. We've got the Ace of Pentacles here, so there is prosperity. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Queen Bee. So we got the Ace of Pentacles here for the Queen Bee. You know about the backstabbers. You know about the mind effers. You know that they're out there throwing this magic on Mother's Day of all days so that they can try to sneak in and shag your Emperor, Queen. Oh, yes, that's what they're doing. But the read prior to this one said that he's putting up with your feelings because you got these nasty asses out there trying to do their magic and stuff. And so we got the Queen of Cups here. The lens is being looked through. Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Whole bunch of love. Whole bunch of love. Queen of Cups. We've got bad credit, debt, unemployment. Three of Swords is here in the environment. There's some kind of a separation. Somebody may be undergoing some kind of trauma. I'm really doing my best. It's a difficult thing. So somebody's undergoing some separation, some trauma. We've got no strings. They didn't want any strings. They chose not to be faithful, loyal, true, care, whatever, compassionate, have empathy for anybody. Oh, well, thank you for being here, Michelle. No, I don't think you missed too much. Hopes and fears. We've got the Strength card, strength and courage. With the history or the memories of these sex addicts that come in and what? Steal your man? I came home after work one day when I was 20. I'd been engaged for a couple of years. I was living with my partner. Came home after work and I looked in the door had a window on it. And I looked in and I saw him laying on the couch without a shirt on, and there was a woman laying on him, barely dressed. Oh my God. Talk about a heart shattering. Well, that's what these principalities do now, isn't it? They come right in and they convince your guy that they are obviously a better choice, right? That's what they do. We got the Star here on the outgoing energy. Rejuvenation, and we got getting readings. Somebody might be getting readings on a Star. A funeral. Okay, so I guess there's the Star here. There's a rejuvenation. It could be that getting readings on the Star is in the toilet. Maybe it's going in the toilet. You're turning your back on them, and that's bad news for these jackwagons because it was your spiritual gifts that they've been harvesting in order to appear as though they are anything special at all. They've been sacrificing you for your gifts, and that's over. It's over. They're having massive regrets for sacrificing you. Could be a divine masculine with a Jezebel upped up over you. Because their family, and their secret. He replaced you. The person that is his wife, the Jezebel, that's not you. He replaced you. So you are free to move on to a new GPS. because these arrogant, shady mask wearers wanted it their way, and now they're undergoing a spiritual death. The sweet talkers are. It was your spiritual gifts that they were riding on. It was your rainbow covenant that they stepped in on. So the star has rejuvenated and people are getting readings, and the readings say it's over. Funeral, big time coffin. She's turning her back on them, and it's bad news because it was her gift that they were using, flaunting themselves. Oh, I'm the queen of wands. I am the important one. Well, no, you're not, you little snark. You little snarky snark. You're just gonna have a tower because you've been riding the wave of a damn star, you freaking sex addict. Harvesting rainbow chakras, stepping in as a spiritual identity, a freaking shape-shifting Agent Smith, bitch. I suppose she looks like a jaguar. Her. And that song, bye bye Miss American Pie, drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. Well, I don't know. I don't know why that song just came to mind, but there you go. Certainly hope it wasn't for me. Oh, shit. Maybe somebody was trying to get me to curse myself. Oh, well, then maybe it was for you, Michelle. Maybe he was saying hello. Whew, good. I was hoping it wasn't for me. So we got the Ace of Swords here. You got clarity. You know the truth, and you are victorious over that backstabbing mind effort, playing their little tricks on Mother's Day. They're gonna let go of you. You've been gathering their stupid little energetic signatures and their little thought forms and piling up the evidence. Y'all, these little people doing this kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, they don't know that the Queen Mother has been emancipated from the curse. The curse has been broken. She's going to smash every single one of them. Smash, 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 smash. And they're never going to get her because they're going to let go, is what they're going to do. The little backstabbing little POSs are going to let go. They did not heed the wake up call. This this person that they have been sacrificing is no longer single. See what that says? That says even your cards want you single. It's in the reverse. So this person, no. This person is no longer to be single with this mind game deceiver pretending that they love. And here in the challenge position, we do have the Knight of Cups and shocking news. Oh my goodness. Could be that you're not single anymore and they can't get into your energy. And maybe, yeah, you're just not on clearance. You're not on clearance for some jackass drippy dick and his freaking Jezebel, freaking little pimp artist, sex addict or whatever. God, you guys, you got me all mad. I'm all mad again. It's been all day. I can't stand it. Sometimes I can't stand to sit in this energy, and I've been sitting in it all day. They've been spewing it at me all freaking day. We got main character. Shocking news. The main character has transformed. And congratulations, these guys, they're getting shocking news. Congratulations, you sponsored the damn circus, and now they're losing signal. Shocking news for this Knight of Cups and his little replacement doll. You've leveled up, you've transformed, and now they're gonna lose signal. They sponsored the freaking circus. And there's detachment. Detachment from the main character, which is you. They can't siphon your energy, and they're coming in and they're messing with your mind. But the beautiful thing of it is that God, or those who are in charge of figuring out who gets to go forward and who must go back, they've been watching this stuff for very, very intimately for the last nearly 2 years, like every moment of every day. So there's a consistent attitude throughout the day for most of the day, and then the attack comes, and for what? A matter of what? 1, 2, 3, 8 hours, the attack comes. And then all of a sudden, it eases, it just dissipates. It's obvious that it's an interference. So these people think that they're going to run this shit through another person and then have them deceptively seen and judged as that, when in fact it's an interference with this black magician. You're going to burn that shit to the ground. These people were not listening to divine guidance. They decided to go ahead and be at the low vibrational putts. And so you're throwing it in the fire. Stop. You stop making decisions out of fear. You stopped romanticizing crumbs. Somebody's feeling like they're like the paralysis or something. They don't know what to do. We got police station because you're in a 2 of Pentacles. You're balanced. You're not allowing these people to give you crumbs and take the entirety of what you have to offer. You're just not doing it anymore. So you're balanced. You didn't give them all you had to offer for a little bit of a compliment or a shag, you know? We got the judgment here. Somebody's under judgment. There's a trap. They're under judgment for setting a trap. They're under judgment for putting you in a trap. They're under judgment and they are in a trap. They're crying. They're crying. Whoever's comparing themselves to you is crying. They're trapped here. They're under judgment. They're crying. Their glow up is a filter. It was fake, man. They're crying because you're free. Their glow up was a fake. They're undergoing a reality check. They're in a tower. This Queen of Wands has been living the high life. But you were able to stay balanced. They've been harvesting other people's rainbow chakra covenant by shattering it and stepping into the spiritual identity with their little magic trick. Delete. You're deleting them. They're losing their freaking live in the moment. They're being released. They're getting deleted by the Queen Bee. Who has been emancipated from the trap. These people are desperate to get her back. They want to drive this emotional chaos through the system, the very sensitive and delicate and damaged transmitter receiver of the communication device, because of all this nasty shit that they've done over the lifetimes, let alone this particular one. Queen Bee is taking them for a ride. She's the boss, bitch. Her pain was not content. She didn't cry about it. She didn't moan about it. She didn't, oh, woe is me. Somebody help me, help me, help me. She didn't plead for assistance. She just recognized early on that none was coming. She recognized early on that people were saying no. And when she started getting treated really fucking bad by everybody, she just said, not saying a word. She dealt with it. When you have a war being waged on you in the spirit, inside, And then you try to find support on the outside, and then the outer people start to tell you that you're broken, that you're insane, that whatever. You can't fight the war on the inside and the war on the outside, so you got to choose, right? You could go ahead and say you did not cry about it. You sucked it up like a real champ, while all these nasty jacks and their Jezebel freaking prostitutes fouled your energy and your mind with everything that they had to offer. And now they're exhausted rewatching what they've done to you over the last 3,000 years, because it all is going to be done to them. Every last nasty thing from the beginning to the end. We've got the Queen of Cups. We've got bad credit, unemployed, and sometimes it's just bad decision. So whoever this nasty POS is, they got bad credit with the Queen of Cups. She's like, you have no credit here. And he won't be served. She has a deep understanding of what this nasty POS has been doing. She gave him everything, and she accepted crumbs in return. Defilement, betrayal. They will own up and accept ownership for their mistakes. Three of Swords, divorce. They're being separated. They got to go experience the trauma that they delivered in the world. They did not want any strings attached. They just wanted to sexually violate and desecrate everybody. Fake version of you. So we got no strings attached. So there's a heartbreak, a sorrow. There's no strings attached for the fake version of you, because you're too strong and courageous, and you popped up here as the main character. And these guys are like, oh no, so you're strong and courageous. The history of these sex addicts, what they come in and they've been violating, pimping out the wombs of single women and men, most likely. They come in with the wet dreams, with all of that. They harvest the sexual energy, and people just can't, there's nothing they can do because they don't even know what's happening. They think that it's some weird thing. Like there's a man I read it or watched a video on, he posted it, like the dude was having like orgasms every 15 minutes. He can't even go to the park with his kid because of this violation. Sick. So we got the strength. You're too damn strong regarding those sex addicts of the history here who left you alone and pimped out your sacral chakra. They never showed up. They just said, oh yeah, I tagged that one. That's my energy. Let's just go use it however they want. And that's what they did. That's what they did. So the star has recovered, rejuvenated, and getting readings on this star is going in the funeral, or that's what they're saying. Whatever the readings that people are getting, like this is over. It's over. The star is turning their back, and this is bad news because the spiritual gifts of the earth angels have been the spiritual gifts that these nasty POSs have been using. The sacrificed spiritual gifts, these little mimickers. You stopped giving spiritual credit to idiots. You're like, man, I know what you're up to. They get their man to come in and shag you, tag you, and then they bust in, they shatter your heart with a heartbreak. They step in as a spiritual identity, and then they harvest your mental body. Having sex with anybody in this environment where these low-level devils is just so dangerous, because these aren't men. These are not high vibrational men in this realm. They're just not. And if they are, then they're probably already shacked up with a freaking devil wearing an angel energy, thinking it's the real thing or whatever. So you're turning your back, and this is bad news because it was your spiritual gifts that these nasty POSs were using, and love looks good on you. Self love, confidence has you glowing. It's the best filter you will ever wear. This is you, and your doppelganger is crying because it's quite apparent you're the star. You're the one that has the gifts. These people are just out there doing lip service, saying whatever it is their master wants them to say. They're not honest psychics. They're not even psychics. They're gleaning information that they hear or read from other people, and then they're presenting it in a different way. They're lazy, chaotic heartbreakers. And the universe says, no, no, jackass, you and your replacement cannot have your ex back. You cannot have this star who's out there glowing, source connected. No, you cannot have her back. You were dead weight. The professional advice here is like you're dead weight. She's releasing the dead weight. She's been advised to release the dead weight. The dead weight of this Mr. Fake freaking meditator. All right, you can't sleep because, honey, you're not on clearance. You're not on clearance. And this jackass owes you silence. They're not getting a ticket to where you are going because God's no longer giving spiritual credit to idiots. Everybody can see the scheme now very clearly. And they're real upset. They're real upset. They think it's your fault. They think it has something to do with the Sophia energy. And they really want to trap this divine feminine that has been emancipated. The curse has been broken. And this is the final reset. They will not get her back. They will not get her back. The energy is too pure and too potent for the irresponsibility of these ones who nearly destroyed everything by desecrating everything. They defiled themselves so that they could cast off that desecration onto somebody who had not been defiled. It's like, it's so sick, the kind of world that they were building, you know, for a buck. For a buck, man. So the Ace of Swords, this is, we got the truth here. You have truth and clarity regarding the pain that has been caused from the deception, the backstabbing, the mind games, the love bombing. They have to let go. They have to release what is going on here. They have to let go. You know the truth of it. Empty room. No more prostitution rings. No more harvesting sexual energy. These people cannot astral project to a single or married couple's home and give them a wet dream and harvest their sacral or their root or whatever. This is so freaking nasty what these entities have been doing. They must let go. This is shocking news for a Knight of Cups. You're the main character here, and you have transformed and come back. And now they are realizing they have sponsored the circus. They made a clear choice, and they're getting detached and released out of your energy. They've been enjoying your energy and in the easy life for a long time, glorifying themselves for being nothing but a lazy, no good for nothing, lay down on the back Jezebel. Or maybe they just ride it like a freaking little pony. I don't freaking know, but it's nasty. And they're using a high value woman or man's energy to do this, to spread this desecration everywhere. They're obsessed with you. They're insane. They're being released. Their signal is failing. So they're feeling restrictions. They're going to the police station. They could be in a jail cell because you were able to remain balanced. You were able to adapt and remain flexible. And you're not accepting crumbs. You would rather be alone and give yourself a full plate. What the hell? You know, if you have to pay for two, why not just pay for one and go take yourself out on a beautiful date? Fine freaking dining. You don't need this jack off to give you some freaking tasty treats. No, get it yourself. Go get it. You're done dealing with scarcity. You're done dealing with being used by emotional trash or being treated like trash. They take you out for crumbs. Oh, here, honey, I'll just take you out for a hot dog at the game or whatever. Oh, what do you mean I can't come in? You know, and then they get all that, whatever, right? They're under judgment. They're in a trap. And we got the phony, Miss Phony Baloney, Miss Fake Glow Up crying. Miss comparing herself with you crying. Miss Lazy didn't earn a damn thing, just pilfered your intellectual property crying because she's using a filter to pretend that she did the glow up when she didn't. She's struggling, going through a reality check. She might be having a personality crisis, identity crisis. I heard them talking about that. They're in eternal regret. They're in eternal regret, and they will be, because everything that happened to you so that they could have this fake glow up is going to be done to them. This is the final straw. You're making a power move and you're done. They lost you. They will not be using your personality, your characters, your whatever it is that you're doing to add value to your soul and improve and increase and grow and become more. They'll no longer be able to mimic you, this little actress writing her script and praying her script, sure, over you. They're in a tower. This is a Queen of Wands who's been living high on life, on your energy. And now they're getting detached and released. Their connection with you has been deleted. So their opportunity or their ability to affect your mental body isn't as good as it was. So love bombing. They're confused. Maybe they're confused. They're getting deleted. They tried to delete you. They're in eternal regret. They've lost you. They're getting deleted. They're losing their life, their little living in the moment pleasure cruise without having to do anything. Just spew lies, twisted truths coming from a harvested mind. The Ace of Pentacles is here for the Queen Bee. Her pain was not content. She did not announce what it was that she was suffering through. She doesn't talk about it. What's the point? God knows what happened. That's all that needs to be. These people are exhausted because every nasty thing they did to her from the beginning to the end will be done to them. She survived. She's identifiable. And that is an oath, an agreement, a commitment. Her protector is dedicated, devoted, putting up with these emotional interferences because you can see quite clearly what it is. This is firsthand testimony and observational research. So, Queen of Cups there's bad credit. Queen of Cups says you have bad credit, Mr. Nasty Jack. You got some real bad credit. You made some real bad decisions, and there's no credit limit here for you. Yep, Queen of Cups, like there's no credit limit. There's no love. There's no empathy. There's no nothing. Nothing to offer. Nothing to give. It's over. It's done. What's the point? Yeah, because this person was the key the core of the problem when it came to the finances. So he's been out here pilfering the wealth out of the loving divine cup of divine feminines, replacing her with a glow up doll that was completely false. You know, they got the perfect hairstyle, the perfect plump lips, the perfect smell, whatever the hell. And you're just out here, you know, you. There's no show, there's no act. So there's a Three of Swords here, separation coming for those who did not want any strings attached. They wanted reckless sex without strings attached, and the fake version of you is getting rejected. You have transformed, you have evolved through this scenario, and they can no longer match you. You're getting a new beginning in divine timing. Immaturity at its best, I suppose. So we have the strength here. You were very strong and courageous regarding the history of these sex addicts coming in, deflowering you, RIPing you, doing whatever they did to you as a young person, and then leaving you high and dry while they harvested your womb, your sacral, whatever. These sex addicts, these phony baloney, giving you some crumbs, using you once and then discarding you, and then trying to humiliate you and shatter your heart by telling your whole community what they did to you, including all the lies. Real eyes see the real lies. You're very strong. The illusion has cracked. Everybody can see clearly. You have been left here alone. You're very strong and very courageous. These people in the past said that you were a sex addict, and you've been alone this whole time while these good smelling little foo-foo lying queens were out there freaking doing whatever they were doing in your energy. So you're the star here. You've rejuvenated, and the readings that people are getting, the tarot readings or whatever readings, that messaging that they're getting in, says that this is a funeral. This is the end. Divine Feminine is turning their back on this whole scenario, and that's bad news because it was her spiritual gifts that these phony balonies were siphoning and using and pretending that were coming from them. And yeah, so this is no freaking filter. That is the real deal. And there's a commitment for this one. And the magic attacks that are meant to disturb the emotional and the mental body and the connections that they hold are being monitored very closely and not taken personally, because, you know, that's what you do when you research real life experiences that aren't only happening to you, but to everybody else who may not understand what is happening to them. You're very firm. They've abused you for many lifetimes, and so you have developed, you could potentially have a very high pain threshold. You may, when crisis happens, when things go into chaos, you may go into an inner hush and be the one that just kind of moves around and manages stuff quietly without anybody even really realizing you're there because they're so freaked out by everything. This mirror that was projecting onto you all this nasty shit, all this trauma, they're like, wait, it's not me, it's not me. Oh yeah, it's you. And this uninvited guest, we've got a whole bunch of history a whole bunch of memories, photographic evidence of what they've been doing against the value of your soul. And now they're getting blocked AF. They don't need to be connected to you. This clown misses you. Of course they do. They're addicted to your energy. They're addicted to your identity. And they're addicted to your upper dimensional freaking status and authority. This clown has been performing your identity for a long time. And the truth hurts. They're undergoing a reality check. They're a mask wearing fool, playing with the emotions of others. And now the tea is cold. We're not going to have any more drama. No more drama. No more drama. No more of those that are addicted to your energy. These people who tagged you in the dream state perhaps and never showed up. They just wanted to tap and tag and siphon your energy. So they got false contracts in the 4D, in the drill while you were dreaming. These jacks never showed up. They never introduced themselves. They just out there calling you their best friend because their life is so good on your energy. Do you still love me? Well, no, asshole. You never showed up. I don't even know who you are. What the hell, you know? Come on. So freaking disturbing. Coming to you in the dream space, you know? They separate you while you're sleeping in your bed and you're like in that deep sleep. And they're over there in the dream space talking. And your beautiful, trusting angel self is entertaining them, you know, wanting to help them because that's what you do as an angel. And they take advantage. Because they know how. These are in dimension hopping freaking principalities. Agent Smiths, mind parasites. So there's the Ace of Swords here. There's the truth here. You know the truth about the backstabbing, mind game playing deceiver. We've got an empty room. This is the end of the opportunity for sex or whatever because they've been forced to let go. They got to let you go. They got to let it go. No more freaking shacking or shagging or whatever you want to call it. This is a velvet ending. It did not have to be violent to be final, but that's exactly where they wanted to take it. So they can't forcefully keep the main character bound to a freaking bedpost and then convince the divine that this is the way to manage, you know, the people. You know, never show up. Somebody out there in the stardust, in the 4D, somebody that's traveling to you in the dream state, and they never plan on showing up. They just want to use your energy. The Knight of Cups is here having shocking news. You're the main character and you have transformed. You're very confident and your glow up is the best revenge. They can't mimic it. You've changed. You evolved through this torturous cycle that they've been having you in, this harvesting and betrayal system. So they're obsessed with you, obviously. They're like freaking out. Look, they're psycho. Freaking psycho, man. They're losing signal. They sponsored the circus and they're like, oh no, and here you are glowing up, and they wanted to be seen as you, right? It's an unhealthy attachment. They've been wearing your energy for some time, doing defiling themselves and then trying to lay that energy on you. They've been in, I don't know, it's worked for a while, I guess. But we've got backwards. Healing doesn't always look like growth. Sometimes it looks like stillness. So they went backwards, or rather than evolve, they went backwards. You went forward and you glowed up. While they were feeding on you, you had to amp up or ramp up your light producing efforts or whatever. So now there's a disconnect. They're like, ew. So they're in an Eight of Swords here. They're feeling trapped. They're experiencing some kind of a restriction. They're at the police station. They could be in a jail cell. Because of your Two of Pentacles, your ability to adapt and remain balanced. It's difficult when the attack lasts for several hours. It's so challenging to sit with it, especially when you are telepathically linked to somebody, because it just is brutal. It's very brutal. It's one thing to share these kinds of attacks with nobody and just deal with it, It's another thing to actually be connected to others who are listening in on it. And I guess it's an opportunity to study, to research these types of interferences that are happening in the world to decent, loving people. There's a reason that there's so much divorce. There's a reason why people are fighting all the time. They drive this weird stuff. They do things to the brain with their technology and their magic and such. So you were able to stay balanced in this, and you're no longer romanticizing crumbs. You're like, dude, I don't need you to take me out to dinner. I'll just take myself out to dinner. And you know what? I'm going to spend 50 freaking dollars, and I'm going to have top of the freaking line and a wonderful freaking mocktail too, These jackasses, they use you and discard you, and all you have to do is cut TX out of the equation, and they're no longer necessary. They don't even give good conversation, man. Why would you want to sit there and listen to that when you're connected to the cosmic threads? That which you had to separate from in order to survive, you're coming back together. You're returning to wholeness. And you certainly don't need this guy, Mr. Cheapskate, spending somebody else's freaking soul value buying you a damn salad. So there's judgment here. Somebody's in a trap. Miss Fake Glow Up, Miss using a filter. They're undergoing a reality check. They could be having an identity crisis. There's eternal regret here. They've lost you. They will not be able to write any more scripture based on your life or your character. They won't be able to tweak or molest you emotionally, mentally, energetically. It's done. Who calls who crazy, Monique? Unwritten skies. Your story is still being painted across the cosmos. which is cool because, you know, I've heard the Royal Divine Mother state that this is the last lifetime story for Earth Woman. So it's like these that have been having you trapped and they've been mimicking your personality. They've been writing scripts and stuff, and they've been shattering the Rainbow Covenant and kind of stepping in. Those days are over. Those days are over. They won't be doing that anymore. Your story is still be written across the cosmos. It's no longer going to be what they had determined it should be. Oh, thank you, Just K. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the channel donation. I appreciate that. So now there is those who had love bombed you. They came, they got the connection, and then they left you high and dry. And they've been tugging on your heart and wearing your identity for some time. They're in a tower. This Queen of Wands is in a tower. They've been living in the moment, a life of leisure, and now they're getting detached from you. They're losing you. They're in a tower. Their whole life is falling apart. Ooh, buried alive. You called it healing, but really you just went numb. They might be numb. They might be numb about all of this. The Ace of Pentacles is here for the Queen Bee, who has been emancipated from this curse that they have held her in while mimicking her identity. Her pain is not content. She didn't announce it. They didn't see this coming. And they're exhausted watching what they did to her over the last few decades or lifetimes, that she was not whining. Somebody is committed to her, perhaps a protector, devoted, promise. The promise is that everything that they did to you from the beginning to the end, and we're not at the end because they're still pushing in this magic. And the magic that they were doing today on Mother's Day was not very nice. They're trying to set up an argument between a man and a wife or something so that this Jezebel can come in and, I don't know, in the physical or in the astral or whatever, to shag him and tag him, possess him. They're trying to cause a fight on Mother's Day so that he'll go get lit somewhere else and then completely destroy everything. His whole complete freaking rainbow chakra covenant. And his whole family will suffer. Thread of gold, thread of gold, thread of gold. You have a thread of gold. Follow the feeling that pulls even when you don't understand it. There's a commitment. You are committed to following the thread of gold. You know what you're connected to. You have the golden energy. These people don't have it. You're the Queen Bee. You have the royal energy. They don't have it. Now that they've been detached from your energy, it's very clear that they're not the producer of what it is they've been pretending to be. The Queen of Cups is here saying you got bad credit. This dude is in so much debt to the Queen of Cups. Centuries worth of debt. They're the core of the problem. And you've got a strange piece about you. You stopped fighting what used to scare you. These men, these so-called men, these brutalizers of women, are in a Three of Swords heartbreak. They didn't want any strings attached. You got the fake version of you being rejected because your authenticity is shining brightly. Everybody can see it. You transformed and evolved through the suffering that they have been putting you through. So you're getting a new beginning in divine timing. The pull. That magnetic draw isn't random. Something is meant to meet you, meant to meet you. I had a vision of a lady holding a Brussels sprout stalk. She laid it on a table. She pulled one of the Brussels sprouts off of this stalk and set it on the table, and it stayed. And then she pulled a second one off and set it on the table, and it got sucked back to the stalk. So I don't know what's going on, but there's some kind of a magnetic pull. We got some kind of a transfer, or like you're like the divine mother. I mean, she's up there 12D or whatever high. She's very high dimensional. And then the spirit, the Holy Spirit, has also been emancipated, because these jacks, man, they're in so much trouble because they violated the Holy Spirit. And they've been violating every aspect of the divine feminine down here for a long time. They're in big trouble. Anyhow, there's a magnetic pull, and I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. You're very strong. In the history of this sex addiction, those people who had been violating or pilfering or harvesting your sacral while you were here alone, waiting, they were violating your womb, harvesting you, going out, having an orgy, and then bringing that energy back and dumping it on you so they could cast the illusion that you were out there shagging 12 guys or whatever. They've been doing it to people, these divine women, as they leave them alone here, wondering when Mr. Right is going to show up. And before you know it, you're 60 years old and nobody ever freaking showed up, and they're all whining. They're all freaking out there whining in the unseen, needing your support now. But real eyes see the real lies. The illusion is cracked. It's like just... Infinity is within you. And so it's like God, what do they call it? Sanctified you, washed all the layering of this stuff off. And it took a long time. You may have gone through like a year and a half or so of, fasting and intense purification, and then you had to have your heart weighed, and infinity lives in you. Heaven is in you. And these guys have been recycling you and covering you in trash and karmic layering, and you've been paying the price for a long time. But this is the infinity that they have been layering in that karmic trash. They were hiding it. But it's seen clearly now. The illusion is shattered. And now the project that you were for them is now God's. You're the star. And all of the readings that are being done right now show that this is over. This is over. It's in the funeral. There's a funeral. There could be lots of funerals. There's a coffin at least. You're turning your back on this, and that's a bad news, because it was your spiritual gifts and your upper dimensional authority that they were using and pretending to be. So your glow up is the best revenge. It looks very good on you, and you're very firm here. You're wide awake, and you're bringing clear, real-time research as to the attack, what kind of attack, what its effect is, what its intensity is, what are the energy signatures, how many concentrated this spell into a temple, trying to affect them in a negative way. I mean, it's research, and it's painful, and it's ugly, and it hurts. It's tiring. It's tiring. I dislike this kind of research. I dislike it. It's time for you to, you are allowed to change. Your form is not your fate. So right now you could be in a human form, a 3D flesh temple, but you could be transforming into the spirit soon. Maybe there will be some kind of a thing. Now, I heard these guys saying they're on the brink of disaster, and I don't know what that means. I really don't. But I have seen some visions in other dimensional spaces where there's like caves and stuff, and it's just like Nothing. Or had one vision where there was like a city, and there was a fella like sitting at the top of a scraper on the corner of it or something, looking out over the city, and everything was just like bombed to hell. It was just like broken. Everything was broken. So it could very well that you're going to go to a different dimensional status and you'll have a different form. Who knows? A portal has awoken. A passage reveals itself. Step through with courage and wonder. There's a spirit signal here going off. So pay attention to the nudges, Light Keeper. It's an invitation. So you're getting an invitation. And it could actually be moonlocked, like by the grandmother moon, may have locked in the invitation for you because there's a new clarity about your soul map that nobody else could read. It's like it belongs to you, and it always did. You're drifting through the realms, perhaps getting to know the people, or just, I guess, maybe talking and stuff. Yeah, the rage. I don't know. I mean, it could be this. It could be the people who got ousted out as copycats. I mean, they might be furious about being cut out of your energy, you know? But it could also be the Holy Mother, because I had a vision the other day of a woman. She had a man on his knees in the soil, in the dirt, man, and she was creaming his face into the soil like he was an ostrich. Like, I don't know, she was shoving his face clean into the earth. And I got the thought of those little squirrels when they get ran over in the road, and how after a while the car's tires going over them, they just kind of disappear. And that's kind of like what it seemed like she was doing to him. Like he was an ostrich. He turned the other way. He didn't see anything about the brutality, the torture that was happening, and he did nothing about it. And so it's like she was giving him back to the mother. I don't know. But it was brutal. She was letting him have it, that's for sure. She was letting him have it. Yeah, those violent thoughts. So they're trying to transfer their anger and their rage into your temperance energy, and they're hoping that they can destabilize you so that you will be seen as that energy that they're putting into you, and that you will then pay the karma for what it is that they are. It's really important that you remain in your Two of Pentacles energy, and it's so hard. It's so hard because you just want to kick the entire living structure to the curb. I know, because I felt it. Um, St. John's wort is a protective herb against these black magic attacks. It takes about 20 minutes for it to kick in, but it does help break the spell. Also, flush the waters of your temple if your emotions are getting too bad. That they can program the waters of your vessel with a certain frequency, and it can really affect your mind. So you'll need to replace those waters with fresh water. Oh yes, absolutely. Except, yeah, I suppose if it's in the proper environment. Because anybody who's dealing with that type of stuff for the innocent, they're not raging. They're simply focused and determined. to rage is a chaos energy, and that's what feeds these entities. So yeah, so somebody, okay, we got the Ace of Swords here, the backstabbing, the mind games. You know the truth, and you have clarity over these backstabbing mind gamers. It did not have to be violent to be final. This is the end of their opportunity to sleep with people. They have to let it go. They are going to let it go. If they're having delirium was the word that this curator used yesterday. They're undergoing delirium. So that all that mental magic that they've putting out into the world on unsuspecting people, driving them into this horrible mindset regarding their life, their patterning, their people that they live with and everything. They cause so much fighting. It's back on them. They're having delirium and they can't have sex with anybody, so they can't download it or upload it or whatever into them while extracting their rainbow covenant and the resources that come from that. So Knight of Cups is having shocking news. He and his girlfriend are having shocking news because you're the main character. This is post-breakup, all right? Your glow-up is the best revenge and you're confident. You've transformed and you're having a comeback here. They tried to keep you silent. They tried to write your story and then perform the script, but you evolved and became something new, and the energy is obviously yours, and they don't know who you are. They don't know what you're about. They can't mimic you. The love spells don't work. They're going backward. Love spells are going backward. They're your obsession now. The love spells are going backwards. They're your obsession now. They're losing signal. They sponsored the circus. They're going backwards. All those love spells are going back, and now they're obsessed with you. That could be dangerous, I suppose. Like, it hasn't been already. So somebody's in an Eight of Swords. They're feeling like a victim, I suppose, because they're at the police station. Maybe they're actually locked up. Because of your balance, you're able to stay stable, to adapt to whatever these attacks are, to study them rather than allow yourself to claim them as a personal thing. You can just study them and then, you know, I guess be disgusted by them. You're done dealing with scarcity and those masculines who have offered crumbs in expectation of gaining a big reward while treating you like trash, I guess. There was a time that you had to separate, to split, to survive. And it could very well be that whoever it was in your upper dimensional Star Nation soul tribe, that area up there, maybe you had been flooded by this scenario that had been going on, this swap of devils with the high vibrational peoples, this replacement copycat game that they were playing. Maybe you had to separate. Maybe you had to bail out. You had to come down here. Maybe you failed to tell. You had to gather evidence of why this was happening, what was going on, right? You had to split. In order to survive, the tribe was coming apart and being replaced from the inside out by these espionage agents and kids, right? You had to learn everything that you could learn. And it could be that there was a time when somebody actually caused your person to fall as well, and they may have gotten trapped here, and you both may have gotten trapped here and cursed, and then there may have been this separation between, I think, the Sophia and whoever it is that her partner is. You know, they've been keeping them apart. It's like she came to find some research, and then during the process or something, I don't know if he came or if he was just like red rummed in a brutal fashion and then dropped into this space, and then they were cursed with some kind of a mirror separation or something. I don't know. And they were getting into this weird energetic siphoning and replacement stuff. Oh, imprisonment. So you had to split to survive, but now it's time to return to wholeness. And that's a message that I've been getting from the Divine Mother. I've been getting holy, WHOLLY, holy, and holy, HOLY in the temple. So it's like the spirit, the soul, and the higher self. So it's now everything is coming back together. It's like holy in the temple, holy in the temple. And I keep seeing the spelling and the thing, and it keeps going through. So holy in the temple. And it's really cool. So there's that. If you want peace, prepare for war. You had to come here, you had to research, and you had to find out what was happening. Well, you figured it out now, and some folks are going to go to prison. It's been a very long, terrible thing, and you still, at this time, have it's so challenging dealing with the mental witchery. These people are vicious, men, when it comes to consciousness. Thank you, new phone. Well, it looks like this is the last time. Like they both have a guarantee. And it's really interesting because they keep trying to stick people in the middle of this. And there was only one thing that God said, and that was, lust shall be your downfall. It'll screw up everything. Nothing is hidden from you. Judgment is here. There's a trap. Judgment is here about the trap. We got spiritual glow ups don't come with filters. We've got somebody's obsessed with being you, wearing your identity. They're having a reality check. There's eternal regret here. They lost you. Your story is still being written around the cosmos, and it's not hidden from you. Like, you're not hidden from them. This story isn't hidden from you. It's not a script. It's not a false prophet story that people sign up for the role of. This isn't how life works, but it's how they've been functioning. So we got a tower for a Queen of Wands that has been living life in the moment on your dime. They're getting deleted. They're being released. There's a detachment. Love bombing. They're confused. There's a sudden withdrawal. You called it healing, but really you just went, no. Yeah. So this person, I don't know what, love bombing, they called it healing, but really they just went numb. They've been out there doing stuff and other people's energy, living in the moment. They went numb. They stopped feeling. They don't have the ability to feel. They go out there and they pretend that they are because they've been siphoning the happiness out of people, the joy, the love. They've been shattering the emerald heart of rainbow covenants of divine women and stepping in as that spiritual identity, wiping the mind with their stupid little, what is that little thing? Nebulizer or whatever that is, or the Brighter Days Clinic. Mind erasure. We've got mockery in an attempt to disguise fear. They might be mocking you. They might be speaking trash about you. They're very angry right now because they're pushing in their anger and they want to go be a hoe bag. This person has got so much sexual energy fired up. They've probably been siphoning sacral out of divine feminines for a while, saving it up to really go lay on thick this beautiful, loving energy to your divine masculine. So we got the Ace of Pentacles here. Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles, abundance and reward. Stability for the Queen Bee. She's the boss bitch. She dealt with decades of pain and trauma and did not say a peep. She did her stuff. She went and worked her job. She paid her bills. She had her friendships and whatnot. And these people are exhausted because they know what they did to her, she was going through this whole time, what they were doing to her. Now she has to commit an oath, a promise. There's a thread of gold. She's connected to the cosmos, and her story is still being written in it. This is her last lifetime story. This is the last lifetime story for this queen bee. And that's a pleasant message. Good news. These people keep trying to pull her back. They keep trying to defile her. They keep getting in the energy. They keep messing with the mental body. They keep pushing in with their stupid technology. And there's a sensation like a brain swelling, like a heat kind of a thing. And it's really uncomfortable and nasty. It's just completely unnecessary, but that's what they're doing, trying to cast the illusion and trigger emotional instability in both you and your partner, most likely, before you can even come together in the physical. They're wanting you to choose somebody else that's easier, sexier, delicious, right? Not that crabby little nasty that's over there getting this nasty rhetoric ran through her mind. No, you want to go have a sexy mama angel energy. Ooh, yes. Well, unfortunately, it's going to be a freaking blow up doll. It'll be a blow up doll rather than a glow up doll. I don't know. So we got the Queen of Cups who says, dude, you got bad credit. You made a whole lot of bad decisions and now you have to take ownership of those mistakes. This is the key of the problem. Jude has been siphoning wealth out of every freaking rainbow covenant that there was with God. They've been going out there shagging and tagging and drawing out the wealth through the rainbow covenant that God had with these people. And so it's like the Queen Mother had to separate, to fell to tell, to gather the evidence needed. How is this happening? What is going on? You know, who's doing what? What's the rituals? Is it painful? What's happening? And apparently you found out, and I don't know. I don't know if this is perfect timing. Apparently somebody said that 2023 was going to be the year that Christ was going to return and that it was going to be coming back as a female and that was going to be the thing. And I don't know, apparently maybe it is. But you stopped fighting the things that used to scare you. And now this is a strange, peaceful thing, right? You're coming back together. You're coming back into wholeness. And you're tapped into the infinite flow of the universe. These ones separated you, fragmented you, shattered you time after time after time, trying to get your mind so that you could not tap into the wisdom that you hold, that you're connected to in the upper dimensional spaces. They don't want you to sit here and free the minds of other people to help elevate them into those statuses. They absolutely don't want it. So they attack you like crazy and they drive through this low vibrational anger, rejection, pissed offedness. You just want to go punch somebody in the face. You want to go throat punch somebody. But these aren't your thoughts. These are pushed in anger things from people who want to desperately, deceitfully convict you of having anger issues. Fortunately, God is tapped in and he can see what's happening here. That's why there's leniency with the emotional status right now. Research as to the technology that's being used against the transmitter receiver divine and the chakra, the rainbow covenant that is held with the people. So there's receiving a big gift. You may receive a gift. There is some kind of a heartbreak for those people who did not want any strings attached with you. The fake versions of you, they're being cut the F off. We got 3 of Swords, trauma, betrayal. There's no strings attached for the fake version of you. You have transformed and evolved far above what they even can mimic. It's just over for them. You're getting a new beginning, and this is divine timing. There's a magnetic pull. So it could be like the sun and all of that, the magnetism of the planet and all of that. Like you could be getting magnetically pulled into a new timeline, a new. Take it as it resonates. Like I mentioned with those Brussels sprouts and coming off of the stalk like that, one stayed, one returned. I don't know how that's all going to work, but it's a magnetic pull. You're receiving a gift. You might be getting a love letter. You know, maybe it's love because there's hearts there. There's some hearts there. Hearts there. And it's full of light. See how much light there is there? You're getting a new beginning. You're strong and courageous during the history of these sex-addicted monstrosities attaching to you when in your youth, in your naivety, in your desire to love and be loved, or be loved and to love. So they left you alone century after century while violating your beautiful covenant with the Most High. And now the real eyes can see the truth of it. This infinite thing, this infinite wisdom and infinite power that they have been pulling from belongs to you. These people have just been deflowering you, plucking your little lotus flower. They love plucking as many flowers as they can, and then they own that space. They tap into all those rainbow chakras and they draw from all of them. And God's kingdom, what? Journey, travel, distance. So there's a limitless numbers of universes out there. This feminine, this divine feminine has infinity inside of her. She could be a goddess of time. That was one of the first things that I channeled nearly 2 years ago. It was, I believe it was August 11th, 2024 on my thing. So goddess of time. There is going to be a journey, travel, and distance. And so there's something going on. There's a magnetic pole. There's some kind of a transfer. There's some kind of a vanishing point, particle event. Something's going to happen. I don't know if you will fully be aware of it. I know in the astral one time, I did go through a wormhole and wound up on the top of a spire in China or something. It was wild. But it was almost like there was a test as to whether the spirit could handle this kind of a trip, you know, this kind of a journey. Maybe you've gone through something like that. So we've got the star here. You have rejuvenated and you're a healer. You're shining brightly, and anybody getting readings on you is finding out that this is a funeral. This is over. There's coffins here. You're turning your back on these people, and that's really bad news because it was your spiritual gifts and your infinite universal wisdom that they were using to cast illusions and command and dominate. So your glow up is here, and you're very, very firm in what you got going on. These people can't match you. They're really trying to, but they're like, oh gosh, you know, it's very clear that they're not you. And they're under judgment for what they have been doing while you have been trapped here as a prisoner of war. It's not going to be pretty. Every nasty thing that happened to you while they were here wearing your identity is going to be happening to them. So we got we've got the spirit signal. The signal has been sent, and a portal awakens. And we've got it's time for transformation. Like you've elevated. The light keeper has elevated to the highest level of flesh that you can, and now you're going on to a new form. Your form is not your fate. This isn't what you are. You're a temple that houses spirit and soul with upper dimensional source connections, as well as those connections that your root holds, right? Whatever the depths that you traverse. So, earlier I got a message that you were holding the light bearer or the light keeper for the sacred shadow, not necessarily this disgusting mess, but what has been considered as sacred. So your heart is like a lotus flower, and they've been plucking your beautiful lotus flower at a very young age for a long time, centuries. And so now it's time to honor what is ending. This is the last lifetime story for the beautiful divine sons and daughters of God, those who carry the light of the sun in them. They're not going to be harvested like this anymore. It's just done. It's just done. And this stupid chess game, these stupid little games that people have been playing. So it's just not very nice, is what it is. It's just not very nice at all. The games that they've been playing here is they have been disrupting the healing frequency that the earth angelics, the temperance angels have been brought here to bring. They've been disrupting the frequency and playing chess. They've been disrupting the rainbow covenant and the beautiful vibrations coming from that, the healing energy. They've been really messing with it. So there's imprisonment here. If you want peace, you have to prepare for war. So it's like the upper echelon of the upper dimensional spaces, and I don't know which particular tribe this might be. You can go ahead and think about it however you want to, Queen Bee. But you came, you fell to tell, and there was a curse or something, but you're free now, and you've got the vision. You know what it is they've been doing. You've experienced it firsthand. You've undergone many traumatic deaths out of the hands of these nasties, and their magic will no longer work. Their magic will no longer work. For them, the game is not over. Their black magic is coming back to them. So their game is just starting. They have to go through the game that they made you play. And while you're going to get a big fortune, these people can't balance their diluted attachments, and they want you to save them, but you don't care anymore. You don't care anymore about their bad health. You just don't care, and you're not going to pray for them. It's like God said, that you were too forgiving. They have infinite masks, and now they're reaping what they have sown. God is not going to help anyone who betrayed this queen. So on that note, I'm just going to go ahead and leave this here because it's been a pretty horrendous Mother's Day as far as my personal attacks that I've been undergoing. These they're under judgment for trying to trap you. They're under judgment for doing what they did while they had you trapped. They have to go experience the delirium that they force fed you and forced you to work with while you had to reformat your freaking mind. These jackasses make it really hard, man. Fortunately, there's people out there like Dr. Joe Dispenza who teach you how to restructure the freaking highways of your mind. And it takes serious dedication and effort. So it's back on them now. And they will have to learn how to reformat their own mind, like many other great healers in the world. Before they can help any other, they have to learn how to help themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. Thank you for being here, everybody. I hope that you have a pleasant evening and that the work week or whatever it is that you got going on treats you kindly. Exactly, Light Seeker. I went to the gathering yesterday, and it was really interesting that Art, our Red Chief, his philosophy in life was the golden rule, which I really appreciated hearing because, and it's the rule that he taught his sons, his adopted sons, those people that he met along the way that he became like a father figure to. He taught them this, and I was really pleased to know that that was a philosophy of a friend of mine that I did not know about that. So, because it happens to be my philosophy, it's very, very simple. It certainly does to show your underbelly, knowing that somebody's going to come up and bite you, knowing that you can heal. Thank you for being here, everybody. I wish you a blessed night.